Oh, Sessy, baby. Week 10 of the NFL season. Can you believe it? Double digits.
Well, you could say nothing has mattered up until now, but now it matters very, very much.
Absolutely. What do we got? We got the Brady Bowl. That is Bucs Patriots. We got J.J. McCarthy giving himself a nickname. And we have a rock fight on Thursday night in Denver that we're going to get to first. It all begins right now. Heed the call. Hey-o, welcome to Heed the Call NFL podcast, the Week 10 preview / Thursday night recap. I am Dan Hanzus, joined as always by Marc Sessler, with Conor Orr, Justin Graver on the ones and twos. Whoa, Thursday night football, boys. That was one of those games where... It's one of those games where you're just like, what just happened? What did I just experience? The 10-7 victory for the Broncos over the Raiders. Daniel Carlson pushes a field goal wide right late in the fourth quarter, and then Broncos are able to run out the clock in the game that both teams probably would like to forget, but at least one gets to take home a victory, Sessy.
Well, yeah, there was the Broncos blocked a third quarter punt that I think, changed the game a lot and led to at least a little bit of points to be trickled through. It felt like watching if you ever been to an old dive bar, like it's two beefy women smashing each other with their fists, and it's entertaining until it's not.
Mark, an old dive bar with two beefy women smashing, like what? What world, Mark? Where do you exist? How do we get into these places?
That's how the game felt to me. It was a very odd NFL game.
But you presented it as if, the classic scenario of being in a dive bar where two heavy-set women are, beating each other, like a Fight Club scenario. Like, what? That's what came to your head. That's amazing, buddy.
It's exactly what came into my mind.
I know it did.
So.
And the fact that they're women, Connor, isn't that... There's a lot cooking there. There's just a lot done. That was far more fascinating than what we watched at Mile High in this game. Give credit to Denver, for having the best record in the league at 8-2. Give credit to their defensive front, which continues to get after the quarterback, sacking Geno Smith 6 times, making up for just a horrendous performance by both the offense and the special teams. The punter, the Broncos, take a walk, buddy. Your thoughts on this one, Connor?
I think having seen this now in previous seasons, it was the Vikings a couple of years ago. It was the Chiefs the year before that. You can just continue a stretch of winning ridiculous one-score games. I mean, it was the Giants. It was the Texans was a 3-point game. The Jets was a 2-point game. The Eagles were a 4-point game. I mean, this can just keep going if you're Denver. And, I think in another era, I would have been like, well, this is going to stop at some point this season. It probably won't. They just figured out how to kind of play small ball enough where they can beat bad teams by 3 points, and does it really matter at the end of the day? I don't know.
So here's what I'm thinking as I'm... Hey, we really got on the right wagon.
I don't know about that conceit.
Best team in football, Mark. Best team in football, 8-2. No, but in all seriousness, what I'm thinking as I'm getting set up to record here is this is also the type of team that 8-2 is great, and 12-5 or 13-4 is even better because that could be enough to win this division. The Chiefs have taken on a bunch of losses this year. The Chargers deal with all sorts of trouble. But if the Denver Broncos think this kind of inconsistency is going to play in January on a bigger stage, they just need... For an 8-2 team, they have a lot to work on, and the consistency of the offense specifically is it's an issue and it's a concern. And I don't know what needs to be done. That's for Sean Payton to figure out. Bo Nix at least has the awareness after the game when he's doing the interview with Kaylee Hartung. He's like, we owe the defense one after today. some of just really disjointed, a lot of third and forevers, a lot of ugly looking plays, a lot of miscommunications, things that you just don't expect from a Sean Payton offense. So I don't know. Denver's a weird little team. They everything has kind of gone their way. They've made their own breaks. That pass rush is made up for a lot of shortcomings. They're on a historic pace, as we know. But this game is not going to A, rocket them up our power rankings, I imagine, and B, convince anybody that is a bit of a doubter that they actually are a wolf in the AFC.
I think that's your point, is like that. Great, you might have a record that's inflated over what you really are, but like you're going to hit a wall at some point where you need to put up 35 points in a game. And like, do I trust this offense to do it? I like RJ Harvey. I like J.K. Dobbins. Apparently no one needs to have a first name on this team, but like, it's like, the thing is, it's just, they're a tough watch. And like, while we've said that, it's actually true in the sense that like, do you believe that their defense, I believe, but do you believe that their offense can have an expansive day?
They didn't have a first down until their fifth possession.
Right.
And then Connor, this is the same team that put 33 up in a quarter against the Giants. They're an absolute mystery.
So I was thinking about this during the game, and if you had to pick one of these teams that seems to have a dominant defense week in and week out, or almost week in and week out, and then which offense would you deal with between, the Texans, a team like the Vikings, or a team like the Broncos? I mean, I'm taking Denver 10 times out of 10. At its peak, you referenced the Giants game. At its peak, this thing is excellent. Bo Nix just has to even out, and this was a bad Bo Nix game from start to finish. And I don't know what has to happen there, but I still have more faith in them than I think any of those other teams that are in that class or that category.
Nix finished 16 of 28, 150 yards, 5.4 yards per attempt, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 54.2 rating. The special teams for both sides. Now, I want to mention a couple things. First of all, Patrick Surtain didn't play, missed the second straight game with that strained pec. So holding any team to 7 points is worthy of not celebration, but kudos. Also, after Brock Bowers looked like he was about to just run roughshod over the rest of the NFL the rest of the way after his 3 touchdown performance 4 days ago, he has 1 catch on 3 targets for 31 yards. So maybe that's what this is. Maybe this is a team that has a defense that is so good and can be dominant, especially against lower competition, that the offense just has a lot of wiggle room to figure things out over the course of 3.5 hours. But again, and I don't want to belabor it, this won't work in January. When teams like the Bills and like the Chiefs in full flight, I know Broncos fans don't want to hear it because they say, look at our record and look at theirs. This style of play, those comebacks against the Giants and squeaking games out like this works in November and October. Don't work in January. That's it. Any other thoughts, boys?
I think that, and I agree with you on every common sense level, but I still think some of the baseline metrics, like they're one of the 10 best rushing teams in the NFL. And if they can just keep that and then keep that defense, I think that there's no reason to believe that they can't make it to the AFC Championship game, as inconsistent and as imperfect as they are. I mean, we've seen other teams do this in previous years where it doesn't make sense, and then the year after that they suck, but within that 1 year sample size, they just keep performing in these 1-score situations.
That's fair. It's a weird team. Sassy.
I tend to agree because like it's an unflashy AFC this season. It seems like the kind of team that would kind of symbolize what this year's been about in the AFC to get there and to do that. They are not visually, I've said it over and over, just I don't enjoy watching them, but that's not their issue. That's my issue. And like they keep winning these games, but like I do find them to be susceptible to Dan's point that like someone's going to come out and drop a hammer on them at some point, and they're going to be asked to level up on offense. So when that happens, can you suddenly do it out of a vacuum? I don't know.
Okay. So there you go. Let's close the book on that game. Pete Carroll's 2-7. Geno Smith can't even walk after the game. Okay.
Did that feel like one of the longest football games that, as a collective, we've ever watched? It just felt like it went on for 2.5 years.
I had major dad duty that had me on delay where I didn't actually catch up until about midway through the fourth quarter. So I guess benefited through blown through the stoppages and halftime and all that. But I imagine, yes, if you were in it in real time, perhaps it would be feeling quite
well. It was a circus
unpleasant.
with very few enticing acts.
Okay, let's see. 4 teams on bye: Bengals, Cowboys, Titans, Chiefs. And we're going to get to all the teams that are playing, including the return of the international series. There's a 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 here, kickoff in Berlin. We'll get to that. One quick thing just want to note here, and it's, there's no easy place to put this and talk about this on the show, and the Cowboys are on bye as well. But defensive end Marshawn Kneeland, dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound early Thursday morning. Just a crazy, very sad story. This is the same player, and it's so weird, not to get melodramatic, but this is worthy of being real. Like, you never know what's going on in somebody's head. This guy recovers a blocked punt on Monday night for a touchdown. He's playing in the National Football League. He's a former second-round pick. He's a millionaire. He's got everything you would ever think you would want to have in your life, and yet there was, something, unfortunately, that he couldn't figure out and he couldn't get past. So just very sad. Marshawn Kneeland has passed away, and I guess all I would say to this before we take a break is if you're a listener who has is going through things, and whether it's mental health or thoughts, depression, or thoughts of harming yourself, talk to somebody, reach out. There are a lot of different places to do that, and you're not alone. There's a lot of people out there. So very sad. Rest in peace, Marshawn Kneeland. Let's take a break, and when we get back, we're going to dig into Week 10.
All right, that feeling when you open your phone bill, yes, and think, how is this even possible? I've been there. That's why I finally switched to Mint Mobile, and now I'm wondering why I didn't do it a lot sooner. If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no, Dan.
Absolutely, Mark. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. I said yes to premium wireless for just $15 a month, and it's been awesome. Mint Mobile gives you high-speed data and unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network. You could bring your own phone, keep your number, and move over your contacts. It's quick, it's easy, it's painless.
It's here's the thing. I got my Mint Mobile wireless service in comparison to the old provider I had, and it was so much better. The savings are better. It's just like, what was I doing for the past number of years? And honestly, the service has been every bit as strong as my old provider, just without the bloated price tag. I'm saving real money every month, and I don't feel like I'm missing a thing.
I've picked that up. I feel like you've been a better person, Mark, since your mobile plan changed. So
it translates.
Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/heed-the-call. That's mintmobile.com/heed-the-call.
Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
All right, we are back. Thursday Night Football in the rear view. Now it's time to get to the rest of the slate to come in Week 10. And let's start with the primetime games this week.
I love the idea.
Oh, great. So with that said, let's dive in. Starting with Sunday Night Football, the number 13 Pittsburgh Steelers, 5-3, traveling to SoFi Stadium. It's going to be filled with Steelers fans. Forget about it. This is going to be a big Yinzer travel weekend. A lot of Yinzers going to go to Disneyland. Maybe they'll go up to wine country. Maybe they'll go out to Palm Springs. Maybe they'll really enjoy the Southern California climate this time of year and fill up that stadium on Sunday night when the Chargers look to build on their 6-3 level record. So it's number 13 versus number 14 in our power rankings. I love it. And Sessy, we're getting the Steelers at a very interesting. I feel like we're getting the Steelers every week in prime time, but as long as they're playing entertaining football, that's fine with me. So here's another test coming off their biggest win of the year.
I think it's one of the biggest NFL wins of the year because it was against this Colts team that was going to test them, and the Steelers, as they did against New England, generated multiple turnovers, and it answered some questions about their defense that we had been verbally lashing for weeks. And now you go up against a Chargers offense, no Joe Alt, no Rashawn Slater. They're not who they want to be right now. It's a tough situation for them. They have generated 400 plus yards of offense in 3 of 4 games. So we were at a Steelers-Chargers game about a couple of years ago, and you are right. It was a Steelers crowd with terrible towels.
A big Steelers crowd.
And that happens to them every week, so that's normalized and they're used to that. But if the Chargers want to, I think the Chargers, if you want to survive and you want to get to 7-3, you've got to find a way to reflect this, whatever the pass rush will be, whatever the defense does, and keep the turnovers low. You still got your quarterback running really well in Justin Herbert. Just go be you the best you can minus your 2 tackles.
I wonder if this is the week that we finally see. I mean, Pittsburgh's offense has been so, I guess, effectively plotting. There has been no explosive element to this. And Art Smith, I think, gets jabbed for this, but he is an explosive play hunting offensive coordinator. When the Falcons, even with Desmond Ridder, he had one of the higher explosive play rates in the NFL. And I'm just wondering, is this just going to be the Aaron Rodgers in a cloud of dust offense and we're going to be able to make it work? And on weeks like this, it's effective because it's going to neutralize someone like Derwin James. But I do wonder, they've changed face defensively with a lot of the formation stuff that they're doing and a lot of the scheme stuff they're doing. Do they flip a little bit of that on offense too? Because Mike Tomlin did kind of have some jabs for Art Smith, the play calling, all that stuff at the podium. I think it was after the Packers lost. So we'll see what happens.
Not to oversimplify it, but the trenches, it's gonna be very important to see how this Chargers offensive line, as we've talked about, handles this without either tackle now. Trey Pipkins, Austin DeCulis, Jamari Salyer, Trevor Penning, who they just got in a trade. 2 of those guys are playing tackle, okay, and starting at tackle, and you just hope you get league average play. That's the goal now. It went from this is the strength of this team to can we survive? Can we not get the quarterback killed? And there's a reason why Jim Harbaugh loves his quarterback so much, because he knows how much his quarterback bails him out in all manners of ways, between as a passer and his way to feel a rush, to absorb contact and still keep his eyes downfield, to escape and use his mobility. So Herbert is going to be more important than ever to have all his skill set. And shout out to TJ Watt, who's been a little bit of an MIA guy at times this year. Alex Highsmith as well. They combined for 3 sacks and 2 forced fumbles in that Colts upset. So those guys are going to have a big opportunity to build on that, and I think that will decide the game. Can the Pittsburgh Steelers create havoc, create turnovers? If they don't, I think this goes LA's way.
I tend to agree with you. One player to watch for the Chargers, Oronde Gadsden, the tight end, has been, over the last 4 weeks, the best tight end in the league, basically. And as I'm not kidding. I think he has.
Brock Bowers exists. Do we see him?
Well, okay, but Brock Bowers was hurt for most of those weeks. But I'm not saying he's the best, but production-wise, over the last month, he has broken out and he's been productive on deep receptions too. So that's your explosion for the Chargers. I think the Chargers offense still is pretty explosive. They really are, to the opposite of what the Steelers are, Connor.
Yeah, I think that Pittsburgh has really laid out the roadmap for all that tight end usage, but the Chargers, the way that Gadsden's been able to help them diversify, you've seen a major shift in that offense. It was a lot of shot plays. It was a lot of Quentin Johnson. It was a lot of pushing the ball downfield. They're starting to get into November, December mode too. I'm dying to know what they're going to do at this point with the offensive line in emergency mode. Like Dan said, is this another tight end week where it's just, hey, intermediate routes? It's Ladd McConkey, it's Gadsden. It's just get rid of the ball so that Herbert doesn't take a ton of shots.
Right, and those tight ends being forced into more protection-based roles just to protect this quarterback. All right, let's head to Monday Night Football. Great game. The number 6 Eagles, 6-2, coming off their bye, travel to Lambeau. Lambeau in primetime. It's hard to beat it. It's on my bucket list. I've never been to Lambeau Field. I want to get there.
Oh, it's great.
Connor, I'm sure you've covered games there.
Nothing like watching I think it was the Giants beat the Packers in the playoffs at Lambeau in the first round or second round of the playoffs, and then to go to San Francisco, I think, for the title game.
The Coughlin frozen face game, or is that the second Giants Super Bowl run?
That was the second Giants Super Bowl run.
Oh, and that was when the Packers were 15-1, and Aaron Rodgers was the MVP, and the Giants hit that Hail Mary at the end of the first half, and they knocked him off. Yeah, that was a crazy game.
I forgot my credential on the way to the locker room for that one, and I was like 22 years old, and I remember getting to the locker room and the security guard being like, "Of course you can't come in," and just shitting my pants and running like as fast as I could in dress shoes. Like you have to go like through the concourse, and like it doesn't have a very sophisticated.
It's an old ass building.
Yeah, I mean, so it was. God, that was an adventure. I'm getting like second wave PTSD from that right now, just thinking about it.
Oh, and the good news for you, Dan, is you're not allowed to check that off your bucket list because we have a show to do. So there's no evening that you'll be in Green Bay watching a football game as a human.
Well, if you've listened to the show, this is our 5th show in as many days, you'll know that I'm seriously pondering getting into the roller coaster review business.
Yes.
Which would open up my weekends. So just stand by on that.
I shall.
I've been digging into that channel, by the way. I'm not going to lie.
Really? Does he seem... What's his name again, Justin?
Connor, you're a little bit of a psychotic individual. That this was what you wound up doing after our show yesterday.
Justin, throw up some B-roll of our roller coaster friend. If you did not see the show, one of the comments we got during our trade deadline live stream was from a YouTube user who went by the name of...
Theme Park Giant.
Theme Park Giant, and then as a follow-up, I mentioned that I might get into that business and maybe become a competitor, and then Theme Park Giant said, "Hey, I'll take you to a theme park in Orlando." We all immediately clocked that as a potential murder attempt to eliminate potential in terms of Tugboat. But then Connor takes it the next step, and he's now tracking Theme Park Willie's content, and that is very interesting.
I mean, he goes like he'll go to Epcot, he'll go to Magic Kingdom,
naturally,
and he'll live stream for like 6 hours.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. So if you're not my thing necessarily, like I like you can watch on YouTube like bird feeders, like someone has a bird feeder and then you just watch the birds come and go as kind of background noise. And maybe some people just are comforted by Epcot Center or Safari Zone or whatever. So I think he's providing a valuable service.
You know what I would think you would like, Connor? And we got to get back on track, but now we're just rolling here. My brother got it for my mom as I guess a gag gift for her birthday last year. But have you seen the thing where it's like you put it on, it's like a mask with a plexiglass or a clear mask, and then it has 2 little hummingbird feeders attached to the front, and then you could just sit in the chair and the hummingbirds will just feed right in front of your face? I feel like that would be a good Connor gift for like your domesticated backyard life.
That sounds a little bit dangerous, but who knows? Who knows what I'll be into next week?
We talk football.
I would just say that what I explore online is very different than what I'm hearing about.
We know.
I look at girls on the internet. Okay, let's go.
No, I'm not suggesting that. I'm not suggesting that at all. I'm just saying, like, I don't spend 4 to 5. You say you watched a 6. You watched a 6-hour live stream.
I'm just saying it exists. It's 6 hours of it's out there. I mean,
Connor spent 6 hours watching a theme park online, but I've got the issues. Sure.
The number 6 Eagles 6-2 at the number 12 Packers 5-2-1. Yes, at Lambeau Field under the lights. Buck and Aikman can't beat it. YouTube TV NFL, figure your f***ing shit out so we can watch this game. Connor, you don't have to worry about that because you're plugged into the back of a damn wall.
Can I just say And again, this is probably taking us right back off track again, but on Monday night this past week, and everyone's like, but I have Slingbox and YouTube and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, baby, I've had basic cable since 2010, the day that I got this house. Like,
it was an immense victory for you.
I mean, I'm not even going to fight it, Mark. Like, Connor, there's one scenario in the year 2025 where, like, the boomer cable guy's going to win, and he won on Monday night. There's nothing we can do about that.
It was decisive. It was one night out of the last, 17 years where that would be the case, but it was that night.
The downside is, at one point, teenagers came to your front step and light a bag of shit in a paper bag, and you had to stomp it out, and you're like, you damn teenagers!
It's a football show.
We talk football.
These guys don't talk enough ball. All right. The number 6 Eagles, 6-2 at number 12 Packers, 5-2-1. Let's talk the game. Let's get there because it's kind of like at this point, there is a little fraud alert protection packages that are quietly being handed out around the Packers right now, Connor. And I love the Eagles coming off the bye, getting healthier, having an extra week to prepare for this game to potentially embarrass Green Bay if they don't find a way to clean up their operation.
Yeah, and this goes back to a little bit about what were our initial fears of the Green Bay Packers before the Micah Parsons trade. And even going back to, I remember ranting about this when I listened to Jeff Hafley's, I think it was his pre-draft press conference or the press conference that he gave at the end of last season. It was very clear that they were nervous about how well that they were suited up the middle in the interior defensively, right? And then Micah Parsons will help you move some of those pieces around, but it doesn't necessarily help you get stouter. It doesn't necessarily help you get tougher. And here come the Eagles, who, when they're in 12 at this point, when they've got their tight ends in there, and I think that running game is really, really, really starting to take off. I mean, I don't know. What are the Packers gonna do? Are they gonna get run over? And on the flip side of that is Jordan Love. And again, it's like, I know that the silly plays that he makes aren't as frequent as people make them out to be, but when he makes silly plays, they are really damn silly, right? And so can he put that back in his pocket and kind of zip that up a little bit? I don't know.
I think it's a pretty wild matchup. Like the Packers, Hafley's defense is allowing 5.8 yards per pass attempt, which is the best in the league. And the Eagles over the last month, over the last 4 games, have been like 9th in EPA passing. They've been a different offense. And my question is like what we saw from like Saquon Barkley before the break. Like, do we get that again? And like, is there a tangible change for this Eagles offense? And how do you attack, I think, what is a very good defense? I understand why we're down on the Packers because they've had some strange defeats that kind of like, they're hard to explain.
And even their wins, some of their wins. It's just
and
like,
some of
okay.
their wins. But I do think that they are a sound defense. And it's going to be a stiff test for an Eagles offense that has been very hot and cold, obviously.
2 things to watch here. Jordan Mailata versus Micah Parsons. Daddy likes mommy. Okay. Mommy loves
Who's
daddy.
the mommy in that equation? I see 2
That's
daddies.
for you to decide.
Okay.
Daddy, chill.
And Tucker Kraft, obviously done for the year for the Packers. Keep an eye on Christian Watson, who's come back the last 2 weeks. He's made some splash plays. They're going to need somebody now with Kraft out to take on a bigger role and be a dog in that offense. If Watson could stay healthy, I could see him being that player. Very, very good game. All right, let's pivot now to the late window. And there are 3 games in that window. One of them is great. So let's start there. Big NFC West showdown. The number 4 in our power rankings, Los Angeles Rams, 6-2, travel to the Big Bell Bottom to face the number 11 49ers, 6-3. Burkhardt, Brady on the call. Sessy, I don't want to say, it's kind of tough because we're in LA, but it's not like everyone's talking Rams football. People don't seem to care that much. They love the Dodgers, but maybe it's going to be a Rams town if they continue to win here, because I feel like they've quietly been maybe the most consistently good to great week-to-week team in the league. Here's another test with the Niners, who have been finding a way to make it work all season, and now maybe they're getting their running game to a higher plane with Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, I think you've got to look at the Rams as sort of quietly like a top 3 to 4 team, and Matthew Stafford's playing at an MVP level. It matters to me whether Puka Nacua is in this game. It sounds like he will be, but he had a chest injury. He did not practice on Wednesday. We'll find out later. But you were going against the Niners defense at this point that it was a bit of a no-name defense to start. And it's now losing players, and it's lost a bunch of people, and they have no pass rush. So I think this is where, the Rams and with Sean McVay have had a tough time with Kyle Shanahan, obviously, but this may be your opportunity to go into San Francisco and take advantage of this.
I know it's never appropriate to count Kyle Shanahan out in a McVay matchup, but I have blowout watch on this one because when I saw this, it absolutely blew my mind. I think it was from like the Sumer Sports NFL preview newsletter. The 49ers are in light boxes, so 7 or fewer defenders in the box 92% of the time. That's first in the league by a very, very wide margin. And the Rams are really starting to experiment with like big offensive sets, like 13 personnel, like 2 tight ends even. And then their wide receivers are big and physical to begin with. When that defense is light, when that defense is spread out and you go big like that, like I'm wondering if this is just like a wrecking ball game for this Rams offense. It could be.
And Kieran Williams about that too. Had his first 100-yard game last week. Like you could sort of see the makings of that.
I can't. It's hard for me to find an aspect of the Rams that I don't like, and the fact that Matthew Stafford is playing at his highest or near the highest levels of his career at 37 years old is a big part of it. I mean. This is crazy. So he throws for 281 and 4 against the Saints in basically 3 quarters. He had 5 touchdowns and no interceptions the game before in London. He has 16 touchdowns and no interceptions in his past 5 games. And when these teams last met it was about a month ago now, he threw for nearly 400 yards and 3 touchdowns, and wasn't even his best game. He missed on some throws in that game too. Like, this has been an excellent Stafford year, the type of season that at this age is like, if there are questions, is this guy a Hall of Famer or not? Banking these seasons in your late 30s, that's how you get to the Hall of Fame. So I love that for them, that he's playing at that high level. What you said is so right about their San Francisco's pass rush. If it can't get home, Stafford is just going to pick you apart right now. The way he's playing with the players he has, especially if Nakua's, he was limited in practice on Wednesday. I think they're managing that injury. In fact, McVay said that if Week 9's win was close, Nacua would have went back in that game. So that tells me good chance he plays, barring a setback. And what they do in the red zone, and especially inside the 10 with Davante Adams, there is a mind meld there. And so they can run the football, and you got to respect that. But all these 5 yards is very Davante Adams, Aaron Rodgers-ian, like where they know where they're going to be. And Adams is so great with his footwork and his hands and his routes that is a deadly red zone weapon, those two guys together. So I like the Rams in this game a lot too.
It's almost taking back the fade, right? There was a lot of goal line fade rhetoric, but I think it's Matt Stafford and Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers and Darnell Washington, and they're really taking the goal line fade back this year, man. It's and,
a very unpopular play for some. Yeah.
What a coup.
You have to have that kind of relationship, but I think we're seeing a couple of those quarterbacks show the value in it, which I think is kind of interesting,
All right. And one more note here. The Rams signed Harrison Mevis. Remember him? Remember him from the summer? Harrison Mevis. Anybody? The thicker kicker. 6 foot, 242. That's what he's listed. He has been lights out for the Birmingham Stallions of the UFL. He spent training camp with the Jets, but they ended up going with Nick Folk instead. He will kick for the Rams in that game. Keep an eye on it. Kicker Club will be. All right, next up we'll go to, yes, Justin.
Sorry, just to put a bow on that game, because you said the Rams, you're struggling to see anything that concerns you or worries you about them. Their one weird thing has been field goal kicking, and there's been a lot of consternation in that market about the special teams coordinator, who's done such an amazing job with the kickoff unit, but the field goal unit struggling. So interesting to see What happens here with a new kicker?
I know what's wrong with it. I had to watch like every single one of their kicks for a project that I have that's coming out soon. It's like it's the same guys. It's the two guys to the left of center that are getting double teamed and blown up on literally every kick. I mean, Jalen Carter beat the bejesus out of one of those guys horribly, and then they tried to replace the guy in that spot, and he got beat even worse. That was the kick return for the touchdown. They've been getting beat through like the same gap all season. I don't know what you do. You can't just put flex seal on it.
We've solved the issue. Just put a better player there. Put some more capable motherfuckers there, you know?
Capable.
Well, I'd put the thicker kicker up there on the line.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
that's another move. All right, let's see. Moving on, the number 21 Cardinals 3-5 at the number 2 in our power rankings. Seattle Seahawks 6-2. A little bit of news that went down here that the Cardinals placed Kyler Murray on IR this week, so he's already missed like 3 games, and now he's going to miss at least 4 more. Very nicely done by the Cardinals. Soft benching of your franchise quarterback. His mid-foot sprain. It's dope as hell. Everything's fine, but we're going to make sure he's healthy. No, Kyler Murray is the better quarterback right now. Jake Brisket is the better quarterback right now, so he's going to play. Here's Gannon, by the way, on the decision he made. It's a little tricky because he didn't have to do this in retrospect. He could have just put Kyler on IR and be like, 4 more weeks of Jake, but he did elaborate on that this was, maybe it's out of respect for Jacoby Brissett. We're letting the people know that he is the quarterback for a reason.
Kyler's going to go on IR. Feel like that's the best thing for him and for us. He's not fully healthy, ready to go yet, so that makes the most sense.
You know, there's like a PR guy there on the headset by the thing just to be like, don't infer that he's not really hurt. Don't infer that he's not really hurt. Like
zapping his balls underneath the table.
Less words. Right.
Yeah. Please stop talking. Please stop talking.
Move to Bam Night conversation. Now. My nuts. Things are weird there in the desert, man. Anyway, so I like the Seahawks a lot in this game, Mark. I mean, if there's a team that's been more consistent week to week than the Rams, it might be their division mates, the Seahawks, and they're just obliterating everything in their path. It's going to be a big test for Arizona here on the road.
They destroyed the Commanders. They destroyed them. That game was over at halftime, and you're watching Sam Darnold play at a level that we've never seen. You've got in Jackson Smith and Jigba, one of the top wideouts in the entire league. They are dominating in every possible phase, and I think they're just growing as a team. And it's like, you're right. If you look at the Rams and say, I can't really find outside of Justin's notation there like a real weakness, I feel that way about Seattle as well. And if you're the Cardinals, it's you're going to find out quickly that Jacoby Brissett is a quality person, number one, and a quality fill-in quarterback. But this is a tough task. This is a tough task. And I think Seattle is just turning into the kind of team, it's the way I feel about the Patriots, where you just don't know where they might wind up at the end of the season.
Get off this corner, Sessler. You're not welcome on Seattle corner with your curses.
I'm not cursing them. I said I don't know.
Patriots. You could have the Cardinals. You could have the Browns. You could have whoever else. The Packers. You could have all those teams. You stay away from Seattle. Pacific Northwest is off limits for the Cess Dog.
I'm not jumping on their train. I'm just saying they're
not just the way you put it. You know, Connor, like he's like, oh, there's just something in the air. It's like, no. We don't like any of that because
Connor
you leave
feels
Sam
it too.
out of this, okay?
Connor feels it too.
I mean, I've had them
That's fine.
number 1, number 2 in the power rankings for the last few weeks when everyone's been like, what's this guy smoking? So I've been here. It's full. But bus is full. Train's full.
Okay. Go back to New England. Go in the woods of Foxborough and build your fire and poop behind an oak tree.
That plays to your interest, but sure. But I see a good team. But
last note on this game, I like Seattle comfortably in this one, but Arizona has been one of my least favorite teams to watch because I can't stand watching Kyler Murray play quarterback and all the check downs and the short passing, and there's just not fun. Jake Brisket, he hangs in the pocket like a big 1988 passer, and throws it downfield, and he has guys to throw to. Marvin Harrison Jr. suddenly looking like the true number one pick that he was, and Trey McBride has been a stud the last 3 weeks. Great. Maybe we get a good game out of it. Let's see. One more late game. The number 5 Lions, 5-3. Already up to 3 losses, by the way, at the midpoint of the season. So this has been a little bit more of a struggle, obviously, even though it was last year's team that was decimated by injuries, Niner style, and they kept finding a way. This team has hit roadblocks. They travel now to D.C., Landover to get the Commanders at the perfect time, obviously, with Jaden Daniels' elbow injury. He is out of commission once again. We're relegated to Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma status here. What do you want to see from the Lions, Connor, in terms of them getting their mojo to a place you need it to be as we get closer to Thanksgiving when the real season begins?
Offensive line health and offensive line dominance. Full stop, period. I mean, that is the issue with this team right now. That was the issue with this team last week in Minnesota. That's why I was literally banging on my keyboard, being like, why aren't you guys calling the Commanders? They had 2 guys that were on the block, offensive linemen. The Browns, they had a couple guys on the block. Even the Saints with Trevor Penning, like, they need depth. They need help. I think, if I'm not mistaken, both of their offensive tackles, I think Decker and Sewell are both going to be out in this game, if I'm not mistaken. And so can you still run that offense? Is there that, does Dan Campbell have this like pack of feral dogs at every position that we just don't know about, and the offensive linemen are just going to come out and everything's going to be fine? Or is there a breaking point like we saw with the secondary last year? I don't know.
It's the exact correct answer. I mean, they were the highest scoring offense coming out of September, and they've been, I think, 18th over the last month. It's been a different situation, but you are facing a Commanders defense that has been absolutely bludgeoned over the last 3 weeks. They've given up the second most points in the league. And the Commanders, to me, it's not just Jaden Daniels. It is their defense, and they've fallen apart. And we've talked about their age of the roster. It feels like a team that is floating away. And so Detroit has no excuse not to blow the doors off.
If Washington had the same record they do now, 3-6, and they had Jaden Daniels and he didn't play that last series and didn't blow out his elbow, I would say this would be a pretty compelling potential loser goes home match, or at least on their side, like where their backs are against the wall and they got to find a way to have a special game. But 2 things are working against them. One, the Lions got humbled last week by the Vikings, so you know that's going to have them in a certain mood. And 2, Marcus Mariota is the quarterback. That was a stomach punch to that team to get humbled and blown out at home and then lose your quarterback. That's the type of stuff where a team quietly packs up mentally and says bye-bye, and I think that's what happens here. I think Washington is going to be one of the worst teams in football for the rest of the way. And for that reason alone, I think the Lions are going to roll in this one. All right, let's take a break. And when we get back, quad box, baby. You know what the holidays mean in my house. Well, you don't live in my house, but you can understand. It's chaos. There's shopping, hosting, gifting, and about 1,000 little things in between. But I've learned to make it easier on myself at Bob's Discount Furniture. I love gifting, and honestly, why not go big this year? Forget about another candle.
Right.
Get a power reclining sofa for just $9.99, which honestly, that's insane. That's a great deal. They've got those sploosh chairs for kids. I know Sessler has one on his mind for himself. I also, I'm a Bob's guy. I got 2 outdoor rocking chairs and also got this storage bed for the bedroom. We have space issues at our house, Mark, and having the storage bed, I can put a bunch of stuff under the bed and forget about it forever, which is my goal.
No, it's ideal for your type of household situation. There's some incredible items here, and if you're looking to freshen things up before the guests arrive, there are tons of smaller items too. Stylish decor, accent pieces, the works. Whether you're gifting, hosting, or just trying to make your space holiday ready, you can do it all without the stress. Shop, haggle, and hassle-free when you holiday the Bob's way.
Bob's way, baby! All right, we did the primetime games. We did the late games. And now everybody's favorite moment of the Thursday preview show. We rolling out that quad box, bitch.
Our ass is in the jackpot now.
Put on your socks and tune in your block. How artful this is.
Good for you!
Evan.
Hey, NFL fans, Kathy Bates here.
Or
Okay, perfect.
it's starting to ruin the show.
It's getting there.
It's getting to the point where, yeah, it's a major blind spot for us, where it's like, obviously this is getting too long and it's stopping the show in its tracks. And yet I can't help but continue to feed the monster, you know, because you just want to see how big the monster gets. You want to see how scary this monster can get, Mark. So there are no reverse gears in the tank of Heed the Call. Everyone knows that. And we have another, 8 weeks of the regular season or whatever, 9 weeks. We're going to keep building out this quad box. Everybody hold on to your asses.
It's like an Andy Warhol film that went on, I think, about the Empire State Building for 4 hours at one point. It was a 10-hour long film about the Empire State Building. That's what this will become by early January, and it will be beautiful.
Yeah. All right. Let's get it going. Mark, start the quad box.
Well, there is an obvious number one choice here, and it's the number 8 Patriots going down to Florida to take on the number 10 Buccaneers. We've got Nance and Romo. I'm very excited about this game. I don't like to fake things. Like, I'll just say, like, either I'm into this or I'm not. This one stirs the imagination. It truly does. And I think it's a huge game for the Buccaneers. It absolutely is. Like, you're going up against a quarterback in Drake May that has been one of the best passers in the NFL against the blitz. He has grown into an MVP candidate over the last couple of months. The Bucs, I'm not saying they're on the ropes, but it's going to take a Todd Bowles kind of masterpiece to do what you can do at home, because you are still a team missing the vast majority of your offense. It sounds like Bucky Irvin probably will not play. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and they really struggled generating just 152 yards of passing offense against the Saints. So now you've got to go face a Patriots defense that's just growing up, and defense that's growing up before our eyes. And like, it's a fascinating matchup because it's two very important teams to me.
I think it's interesting that you say that, and this, I don't mean this in a negative way towards the Patriots or their quarterback at all, but like you're saying, like Bowles has to cook up a masterpiece to beat the Patriots. Maybe that is who the Patriots are. Maybe that is the level that the head coach and defensive mastermind that Bowles has to handle Drake May, who's now elevated to like a knock on the door of the superstar club. Maybe he's already there, and that
he's
makes
like
sense.
Fourth in passing. Like that's
what I mean.
He's
like
the real deal.
He checks the boxes on when you pop the hood, and I think he's had 7 straight games, 8 straight games with 100+ passer rating, and he's doing everything right. That's why I love this game, Connor, when you talk about who is Drake May, like how good is Drake May? We're going to find out. It's a nice test for him.
Well, I think we're going to find out how much we can stress test that Patriots offensive line, because Todd Bowles is one of the most creative blitzers in the NFL. And I mean, when he calls his shots in these games, he's getting home. I think Drake May's been sacked 12 times in the last 2 games. And that was another team that I was surprised kind of didn't dig for help. They're just hoping this unit gels and comes together. And there's 3 or 4 new starters on this line from last year. So it has to be. But this to me is the moment where, and I worry about stuff like that, where Drake May and the superstar conversation gets conflated with the fact that he might just have guys up his ass the whole game and there's nothing to do about it. And so I'm interested to see what Bowles does here.
I think a lot of people were thinking the Patriots were going to make a splash move. It felt like a good opportunity. Same way with the Colts, where the Colts seized or sensed this is a moment in this AFC and went and got Sauce Gardner. The Patriots, they stayed still. Vrabel addressed that and used an interesting metaphor this week with the media.
Well, first, I would say that deals are like being pregnant. You either are or you aren't. There's no it's either a deal or it's not. So I don't know how close you can be.
I mean, that's just categorically false. That's like such a weird, like you could be absolutely close to a deal. I mean, GMs call each other all the time and they're like, hey, I'll give you a 2nd round pick or like, no, I want a 3rd round pick. Like that's close to a deal. I don't know.
Yeah.
You could also be close to being pregnant too.
Yeah, a lot. That's true too. I guess he's one of those people, and it doesn't surprise me if Vrabel views life as, and maybe this keeps him sane as a head coach. It's either yes or no, and there's no in between. But a good question by Karen Garigian. She had asked the question, and it was answered. Anyway, yeah. Baker's been the last couple of games has cooled off a little bit. I don't know if anybody's noticed that. They haven't been as explosive.
Well, he's missing half his cast though too. I mean, I
didn't say it was bad.
I know, but I do feel like one thing, and maybe I'm being annoying, but like with the Bucks, like we kind of I'm not pointing fingers at you or anyone, but like we gloss over the devastating injuries they're dealing with. Like it's kind of wild
he's actually a victim of his own success because. Whether it's injuries or play caller change, he's always found a way to keep leveling up his game the last 2 years. I'm just saying the last couple of weeks, it hasn't been the same type of Baker production. But Emeka Egbuka, yes, to your point, coming back and getting healthier, coming off a bye, that's going to really help them, I think. So I love this matchup. I think it's a great game. I think it can go down to the wire. I think I would be stunned if this game, let's pick this game. I'd be stunned if this game is more than one score. I'm going to go Baker with the ball last, 34-31. What do you guys got?
It's the one area where the Patriots have struggled is their red zone defense has been a little faulty, and that kind of lines up with what you just said about the Bucs. I'm going to go Tampa Bay 27-24 in overtime.
Ooh. I'll be an outlier in this one. Like,
go for it, bro.
Give me like a 27-24 New England victory at Foxborough. It'll be the score will be a little bit closer than the game indicates. Like New England will kind of push them around a little bit.
One last thing, Brady, we mentioned not calling this game. You would think Patriots Bucks, that'd be perfect, but maybe it's a little too hot for old Tommy boy. But the former Buccaneer and Patriots Super Bowl winning quarterback recently revealed that his current dog, Junie, is a clone of his late dog, Lua, who died in December 2023. The dogs were cloned by Colossal Biosciences. That's a major red flag. What? You want to talk about, can we cook up the most evil-sounding corporate empire,
exactly.
Giant factories sitting by the river with green sludge pouring out of the pipes, you know what I mean, into the water supply of the area village, like Colossus Biosciences, a biotech company that Brady, of course, is an investor in, using blood collected prior to Lua's death. No. Stop it. This Tom Brady absolutely needs to be stopped. This man believes that he is above the law. He believes that he is above his fellow man. He is now trying to play God. You know who I miss every day? I miss Boomer, my beautiful dog that I had from 1997, named after the quarterback, until he passed away in 2012. And I mourned that dog for a decade. And I didn't buy a new dog because it hurt so much that he left us. Because it's the only thing wrong with dogs, the most beautiful of all creatures, is that they live just long enough for you to feel like they are actually family, and then they leave. But that's part of life.
Right.
And I waited 10 years, and then you know what I said? When I was finally ready, I welcomed Captain. I'm going to get the Captain Cam. He likes to just lay on the couch when I do the shows. So we get the Captain Cam working. And I moved on. Tom Brady should have moved on, and I'm just sick of his attitude all the way around. That's it.
He's got a little bit of
look at
Elon Musk to him.
Good boy.
I would say one thing. As a child, when you lose a pet or you learn about death, it's a great passage in life just to understand things. I have simultaneously thought about, like, if I belong to Colossal Science, whatever it is, if I could clone myself and then raise myself and like be a better, like I'd be a great parent to myself, what would happen to me in second life scenarios? But
Wait a second. Just run that by me again. I want to hear that again.
If we can clone, we're not far away. We probably already are cloning people, right, Connor? But like, if I could literally clone myself,
we're probably doing it, Connor.
I'm saying I clone myself.
Yes.
And then from the baby, because you're born as a baby in that situation, still, like I raise myself and be like a great dad to myself. Like the sky is the limit there. Does that make sense?
It's listen, I don't throw this around, but it does sound a little narcissistic. Just create more of myself to hang out with myself to make me a better person. Like, I don't know.
Well, I'd make that person a better person, but that would be yes, I see what you mean.
I've been on this site since you guys have been both kind of doing this, and the text on the main portion of their website is horrifying, and I'm just going to kind of read this. In the minds of many, the woolly mammoth is gone forever, but not in the minds of our scientists. We don't need the woolly mammoth back. The woolly mammoth died for a very good reason. We don't need like 50-foot tall, furry, tusked elephants just blasting their way through downtown New Jersey. Like, this is not, we can't deal with this. There's enough problems. This is not a fix.
We got Conor off the amusement park beat, and he's now on this beat. So
now, as I understand it, there are term limits in our country for presidents. Are there term limits? Like, if some, I'm just throwing this out here, what's inevitably going to happen? If a presidential figure cloned himself, could he run for the office multiple more times?
Oh, God.
I think so. It's a different person. Yeah.
Let's just
look at you did, Mark. If that happens, that's on you, and it's a front page story on I Dream Is Red.
It is not.
It's just like all big font letter. We did it.
De-extinction.
8 more years.
Had you ever laid eyes on that newsletter, you would know that that is not the direction of it. But
we did it, like Pearl Harbor size font, underneath 8 more years, and then underneath that more question mark.
You talk football.
Hold on.
All right, let's add to the quad box. I'll do the next one. I love it. Number 16 Ravens, 3-5, coming off back-to-back wins, getting their groove back here. Travel to Minneapolis to get the Vikings, the number 17 Vikings. So 16-17, Kugler and Moose on the call. Good spot for them because I think this game could be a lot of fun. I'd like to see Lamar another week clear from the hamstring. Flores and the Vikings defense is coming off a really good week where they obviously neutralized Detroit. So you can't sleep on their ability to do that again against the Ravens. But the thing about the Ravens, Connor, that I've really, you enjoy watching them, especially in the regular season in these recent years. Once they start humming on offense, I don't know if anybody can stop them. So this is going to be a real test. And if the Ravens do succeed, that will put more pressure on J.J. McCarthy and that offense to keep pace. This will be a good test for that team all the way around.
Yeah, I don't think that last week's performance by Flores was a red herring by any stretch, but there was a clear weakness within that offensive line with Detroit, and they exploited it. Versus this game with Baltimore, Lamar can neutralize a lot of those things, and so I'm dying to see. And this goes back actually all the way to, I remember talking to Mike Tomlin about this. The reason that he fell in love with Brian Flores, and Brian Flores really got his star rise in Miami. Do you remember that primetime game where he just zero blitzed Lamar Jackson the same way, like 36 straight times? It was one of the most ridiculous game plans ever. If you go back and watch that, it's on YouTube. It's fascinating. It's the same blitz over and over and over and over again. And so maybe he has that ability to stay in Lamar's head, to get in his head, to concoct something. But it's not going to be as cut and dry as it was a week ago.
The J.J. McCarthy stuff, we didn't get a chance to talk about this. He had a fun locker room moment.
Oh, yeah.
After the win,
psychotic individual
against the Lions. He has a look in his eyes when he's getting talked up by KOC, and he said that's actually, he explained to the media this week that's actually it's an alter ego, I think is the way he put it. I think he called it 9 for his number. Let's listen. Let's let him explain.
There's definitely a level of a switch that gets flipped. For me, it's, that I call him 9. 9 comes out, and I got to understand, like, okay, he can't be at his peak performance throughout 3.5 hours. So how do I find little ways, on the sideline, get back to my breath, get back to my visualization that could kind of maintain that intense, competitive stamina throughout the whole game. But yeah, it's just, the pure will, determination to get the job done.
Okay. All right.
He can't be on whatever up to his competitive strength all game because he's really only good during the scripted portions of the game. So it's like first 15 plays of each half.
I want to hear more.
9.
Let's hear more about 9.
I kind of love feeding that wolf because my entire life, at Michigan, it was a smiley face on my hand and smile and you have fun, you're going to play better and all that, which is true. But I also think there's a lot of power that comes from, that built up anger that you can transmute into your performance.
Transmute. I know this. You eat all this shit up, Sessler. So and mileage varies. Okay, so I'm gonna just respectfully pass the mic to you to talk about how great all this is. I get a little bit, just a tiny bit, with JJ McCarthy, a little bit of Drew Lock vibes. Rapping on the sideline, and maybe a guy that's fun to be around. He's a big competitor, but can he actually play? I don't know. But I know you love this, Mark.
I do. And watching him march into that locker room, it made me tangibly jealous that he's someone else's quarterback. And even the Browns fan in me, it's like, why is he not my quarterback? I feel fascination with him. And I just have the question roaming out there, what happens to Mark if JJ McCarthy ends the Ravens season this weekend? What happens to me then? We don't know. I think
Jackson Dart's getting jealous because he was supposed to be the young knight that Mark would genuflect in front of, but now it's JJ McCarthy. I don't know if that's quite earned yet. In all seriousness, I do want to see him be a consistent player for 4 quarters straight before we talk about what a fascinating young talent he is.
I mean, we're mere hours into his career, though.
Yeah, it's
right?
his 3 starts. Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that what impressed me the most about McCarthy was the way that he lost it. He lost it in that Lions game and got it back. And I think that's the hardest thing to do for a young player, that when you pull the trigger and some of those balls go high, or you're thrown behind a guy and it gets picked off, to be able to regroup mentally. And Kevin O'Connell, you could say whatever you want, quarterback whisper. No one's going to say the right thing to you. That's you building yourself back up. And whether that's visualization or he does the meditation thing or he has the alter ego, great. If it's working for him, he brought himself back in that game. And I will say I was very impressed by that.
All right. Let's move to the next game in the quad box. Connor.
Oof. Not leaving a whole lot here for me to take. Give me, you know what? Actually, give me the number 29 Browns at the number 30 Jets. I want to see how.
There we go.
You know why? Because I want to see how.
Violation! Oh, you got quad box violation. Why? Okay. Justin makes these decisions. I want everyone to know that. Justin, why did you decide this?
Well, there's a couple of reasons. First of all, this is the least competitive game of Week 10. These two teams have combined for 3 wins. Pick any other matchup and combine the wins. The lowest number you'll get is 6. And secondly, we've spent a large portion. We have spent a large portion of the last 2 shows talking about the Jets and the fallout of their trade. Rightfully so.
Absolutely.
It was the biggest piece of news. Happen. But that was a lot of Jets airtime. And these 2 teams are irrelevant to the rest of the 2025 season.
Not to the draft race, though. There is
to Justin's point, that has nothing. I mean, unless we want to pump up whoever loses this actually wins, and that seems like a little bit depressing to preview a game where that's the prize. I don't know.
Well,
I see where Justin's coming from on it. Connor, you got to pick again. You got to pick again. I'm sorry. That's the rules here.
Okay, I can't. Fine, asshole. And let's do okay. The rest of these games have 2-win and 3-win teams.
Yeah, but add them up. It's more than 3 total wins.
what kind of high math is this that you're just like, oh, in order to like the games are awesome when you add one win total plus the other win total. That's like a
tough situation here.
This is insane.
That's it, man. That's just like, that was the decision that came down from Mount Olympus on that one.
Yeah, Mount Olympus. Okay. I can't even dunk. Mount Olympus. 2-7. The number 26 Giants and the number 15 Bears. Joe Davis is back from MLB. He'll probably be feeling himself. We'll get Greg Olson to talk about the Ben Johnson offense. So that'll be fun. Be a little learning experience. And we'll see if Ben Johnson can keep rolling. 6 wins at this point would be pretty spicy for this Bears team.
What do we just did our over-unders redraft. Someone has the 8.5 Bears under?
You.
Oh, I do. Okay, so I have to. I don't want to.
News update.
I don't have any exactly. I don't have any ill will toward the people of Chicago, and I know it's been a long time since the Bears have been fun to watch, so I'm not going to be rooting against the Bears, but I will continue to have my guard up about the Chicago Bears and in terms of their consistency. If you want us to take you seriously as a playoff team in the NFC, this Giants team is limping. This Giants team looks rudderless in certain ways. This Giants team could be headed toward big changes in the offseason at the food chain and the coaching staff. This is a Giants team that you should stomp. You're in your building. Your offense is humming, and you have a Giants defense that is flustered. And a young quarterback in New York who doesn't have a lot to work with anymore. Go put together a comprehensive 31-14 win and move on to the next week. I challenge you, Chicago Bears. Take care of business here.
That's how this game feels to me. And it's a wanting Giants defense. And with each quarter and week, we're getting closer to the Ben Johnson offense that has been advertised. You see it here and there. And I thought without DeAndre Swift last week, what they were able to do on the ground was totally dominant. So I'm with you. I think this Giants defense has been a hot mess. And outside of Jackson Dart running around a lot, like, I don't know how you keep up with the Bears offense unless there are turnovers.
This will be the week that I want to see Caleb Williams start getting that time to throw time back down under like 3.2. He takes the longest of any quarterback in the NFL from the snap. And I know some of that is the window dressing and some of that is the motion and the play action and everything that goes along with the Bears offense. But this could be, I mean, the Giants defensive line is not great off the snap. They're not immediately in your face, but if you give them those second chances to get you in the backfield, they are athletic enough to punish you there, theoretically. So let's see what happens.
Yeah. To your point, Mark, Kyle Monangai, awesome game, nearly 200 total yards in that game. Helped them in the passing game and obviously in the running game when he went for 176. So that shows the depth, and I don't know, not to oversimplify it, but Caleb Williams, if he can just eliminate the week to week inconsistencies, that's I think the only thing that's holding this team. I'm not even saying they're being held back, but what will allow them to go to that next level, right? What Ben Johnson was able to do in Detroit with Jared Goff, who's a consistent passer. Can they build on that? It's gonna be fun to watch. All right. That was good, Connor. That was a good pivot. Nice job.
Yeah, anytime.
Justin?
Yep.
Close out the quad box.
I'm going to go with the number 29 Browns. I'm joking. I'm going to go with the number 19 Jacksonville Jaguars, 5-3, traveling to face the number 22 Houston Texans at 3-5 with Eagle and JJ Watt.
Game?
On the
call, I know
this
is a snooze fest, but I get what you're doing.
Everybody slow down.
Let's watch. Davis Mills.
This is absolutely Justin's in the right here. It might not light your tits on fire, but this is an important division game. The 5-3 Jags, the Texans, who were a playoff team last year that need a win. It obviously is a more important game in the NFL schedule than Browns Jets. Let's be fair here.
And the Texans offense hasn't been super fun to watch this season.
Yeah, let's hear legends sell this one. Come on.
But Davis Mills will start at quarterback, so it might get less fun to watch. But something Davis Mills did that CJ Stroud has not done very well this season is get the ball to Nico Collins, their most exciting playmaker. And I think this Jaguars defense can be maybe a little bit vulnerable to a Nico Collins deep shot or two in this game. Jacksonville has, they started the season so hot, forcing so many turnovers. That's cooled off quite a bit. And the Texans, if they don't come out of this game with a win, are going to be in super cornered animal desperation territory at 3-6. So they have got to come out of this game on top if they want to keep their season alive.
Absolutely need it. And it's in Houston. You got to find a way to circle the wagons here. Iron Eagle and J.J. Watt on the call. They traded, Jacksonville traded for, and I understand in part where you come from, Connor. Like, I struggle with the Jags as an operation. I will not hide from the fact that I am one of the sad people out there that drafted Brian Thomas Jr. high in my draft, and watching him play and labor through efforts and drop balls and get hurt, and now he's nursing an ankle sprain, and you already have Travis Hunter out of the lineup and on IR, so you lose that kind of element for Jacksonville in terms of intrigue. Jacoby Myers is now in the building. I would imagine if they can get him coached up, he'll probably have a role right away because they need people to step up and catch those hospital balls from Trevor Lawrence. We need somebody to go to the hospital at the end in the third quarter, and Jake Myers is checking in. All right. Everybody okay? Everybody good?
I think there's been some division here, but we can get beyond it. But some annoyance has been stirred up.
A little bit. All right. Stay right there. Actually, Connor, why don't we take a break? I think you can use a sandwich. I think it's a Connor sandwich scenario here. And we'll welcome in Baldy, and then we'll come back, and we'll try to get it all back together. Stay right there. Oh, baby. This gets us excited every week. We're joined by Odyssey NFL insider Brian Baldinger, host of the Best Football Show podcast. Insider calls are brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side. Welcome, Baldy. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Dan. I got a doubleheader this weekend. I'm excited about it. I'll be in Lubbock on Saturday for BYU and the Red Raiders. And then I'll be in Tampa on Sunday. So I get to announce like two great games this weekend. So I'm trying to learn the pronunciation of about 100 different Polynesians for BYU. So if I get tongue twisted here talking to you guys, it's only because I've got too many vowels in my mouth and I'm trying to spit them out.
Just an example, Mark, of he's not just a tape dog and a master in every city he goes into, and a man that lives on the ocean in his spare time. He puts in the work. Pronunciations.
A linguist, a professional linguist, and we appreciate that.
By just a random question.
Yeah.
Do you guys know how many letters there are in the Hawaiian alphabet?
Great question. I'm going to say, because you said it that way, it's either going to be very few or many. I'm going to say 137.
All right. You overshot it. There's 12. There's 12 letters. There's 5 vowels and 7 consonants in the Hawaiian alphabet. So it's just a mix. Like there could be 3 A's and 4 U's and an O and a K, and that could be a name. So I'm just getting the.
Thank you for that knowledge. I feel like every week, Mark, there's a moment where we reveal our ignorance to the world around us, and in this case, it was the number of letters in the Hawaiian alphabet.
I think it's daily more than weekly, but yes.
All right, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Let's start with the game in Berlin, Baldy, and a lot to unpack in this one. It's the number 20 Falcons in our power rankings at the number 7 Colts. The Colts, we'll start with them, and we'll get to the soft side of things when we talk the Falcons. But how alarmed were you by the 6 turnover loss to the Steelers? 5 of them, of course, by Danny Dimes, who's been brilliant this year, but that would be a game that reminds a lot of Giants fans of games they watched during his, where do you put that on the panic meter, 1 to 10, if you're a Colts fan?
I mean, nobody wants to play that kind of game. I talked to Dan. I did that game on Sunday, and I was there. I told TJ, if you want to be involved in these breakdowns of money, you better do something in this game. And he turned the game around in the second quarter with a sack fumble. Something that, that was the first lost fumble by Daniel Jones all year. He'd done a great job of taking care of the football. But the defensive line, they dominated the game for Pittsburgh. Peyton Wilson in that category too. And but I think they can bounce back. I mean, I think they're well coached. I don't think this is going to haunt them. I think they'll go to Germany and play their game. We'll see Sauce Gardner, I think, on defense for him on Sunday. He's going to fit in with what Lou Anarumo does. But my panic meter is not high right now. If I see it again, Sunday in Atlanta against Atlanta or in the semi-near future here, then I will be alarmed.
So what about 3.4 right now? 3.6, something like that?
Maybe low threes out of 10.
Okay.
I think because actually the first quarter they went up and down the field. They looked like them, and then TJ got the ball out of his hands and they muffed a punt, and it just kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah, and I think it's like they're allowed to have a game like that. They're a strange team in a way that like we're waiting to find out if they're real. But what is real under Shane Steichen is the development of some of these players on offense. And I just wanted to ask you, when I like Tyler Warren, did you ever face a player? Does he remind you of anyone that you dealt with in your or faced in your career? Because like he just to me is a very special ingredient to this offense.
Or covered as a broadcaster, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I have said this, and I said this when I met him at Penn State Pro Day this year. He reminded me of Mark Bavaro. Like, Bavaro said 2 words. He'd walk around the locker room eating his cereal. He'd be mumbling something. Smart as hell. Didn't say 2 words all week, but was tough as can be. Like, literally would try to rip your heart right out of your chest. And he has that type of toughness, and he brings that to the team. And, like, they're still finding ways to get him the ball and to utilize his skills. But Bavaro was a great blocker. He was a dependable receiver, and he was just the toughest guy on the field.
Had his jaw wired shut, I believe, for like a month, and no one knew because he didn't speak
not just
to people.
that, but when he had his jaw wired, he also had a broken toe. So he played with a broken toe and a wired jaw. Like, it just seems inconceivable.
He's a bad dude. That's a bad dude. On the Falcons side of things, it's hard to make sense of the 3-5 Falcons. I think everybody tries to on a weekly basis. Then we have to reevaluate it. But, the one thing that we know that Bijan is one of the best running backs in football. Is it time to give Drake London a little bit more love as a top 10 talent at wide receiver? He was unstoppable in week 9 with 3 touchdowns. And now what a gift Germany gets and the rest of us, because now it looks like Drake London versus Sauce Gardner.
That'd be a good matchup, and that'd be worth a few euros, to plunk down to go watch that matchup. But I saw Drake London in training camp this year, and I remember just watching a 2-minute drill and then a red zone drill. Like, literally, Michael Penix threw it to him every play in practice. And I thought, I told people that are into fantasy football, I'm like, just take Drake London. He's going to get 10 targets a minimum a game. Now, he was out for a little bit and banged up, and Penix missed a game, but he really is pretty much unstoppable with his catch radius, the way that he can just shield, defenders. They wouldn't be wrong, by throwing it to him, 10 or 15 times on Sunday against this Colts team.
Do it. Just, flood that guy with targets and see what he can do. In general, the offense of Atlanta needs a little more juice, especially in the passing game. Insider calls are brought to you by Nationwide for your insurance and financial needs. Nationwide is on your side. I don't know if I'll get bonus points for singing the jingle or I'll get a sternly worded letter saying, don't sing the jingle, read the copy. We'll see. We'll find out. Go ahead, Mark.
Well, I was going to ask you about this. So we've got the Panthers and the Saints, and the standout. And I think Carolina falls into that same category of like, do we think this is a legit NFC playoff contender? But the play of Derek Brown, and as a former offensive lineman, what was it like to go up against players like this? Derek Brown has just been a standout badass all season.
So my favorite segment to post every week is the Derek Brown like frisbee toss. I mean, he just takes these grown linemen, Last week it was Morgan from Green Bay. I mean, he just takes these guys and throws them away. Reggie White used to just hump people. He does it 2 times a game, where literally he just does whatever he wants to do with these guys. And, they're 320-pound offensive guards, and he just tosses them. He plays a high percentage of snaps. They dominated that game last week. They really dominated the line of scrimmage, and that's a credit to them. Derek's the leader of it, but they've got other guys right there too that have played really, really well. And they got some young guys, Nick Skirk, and a lot of guys that are coming on. And they got good players in the secondary. When they can run the ball the way Rico has run it, they have a formula. I'll say this, Mark. They have a formula to how to win games. It starts with their line play, offensive and defensive lines. You can't ask Bryce to go win you games and do too much. They're not going to. But when they can run it and really control the line of scrimmage, they can beat good teams. Like they have, shutting out Atlanta or whatever, but they can win games, and so they're legitimate but if they get out of that and they start turning it over and throwing it, and it could go sideways on them pretty quick.
Let's go to what I think is the game of the week. We do kind of a draft on our show, Baldy, where we get turns, picking the games to watch on Sunday, and then we recap them Sunday night. I have the first pick this week. I'm taking number 8 New England at number 10 Tampa. Yep. Another great test, I feel like, for Drake May, who's aced every test pretty much this year. Put him on the road in that environment against a Tampa team that obviously plays very well in their building. Todd Bowles known for that aggressive scheme with blitzing and, scrambling up QBs. If May goes up down there and cooks up Bowles in Tampa, the Patriots, to me, level up another spot.
No doubt. It's a really show-me game, and I'm going to be there in Tampa on Sunday. I can't wait. Drake has been unbelievable. I mean, he's like the jump that he has made this year, how they've developed this team, and they run it more than they throw it. There's a foundation to what Josh McDaniels is doing. They'll line up in I formation with Jack Westover and a variety of different runs that they have. You see, in the first quarter last week, you're seeing Trevion Henderson and Will Campbell and Jared Wilson. And you see all these rookies out there, and they're all playing like veterans. They don't make a lot of mistakes. But, Todd Bowles has had 2 weeks to get ready for this game. So that he's got all kinds of doodles on whiteboards and napkins and pressures that he wants to throw at Drake May. But surprisingly, you go back and you watch, Drake against Cleveland and Schwartzy and what he did to him. They've got pretty good answers when teams blitz. Now, it's not Todd Bowles, but because they don't come after you with just one. They come after you in pairs of blitzers, and usually one comes free. So we'll see. And Drake has been sacked a lot. Second most sacked quarterback in the league. So there is something to that. And then defensively, New England is vastly improved. All the guys they brought in, whether it's Milton Williams or Harold Landry or Spillane, they've all played really well. I saw Gonzo go out last week. I don't know what his health status is. I don't watch that stuff during the week. But if you put Gonzo and Marcus Jones and Carlton Davis out there in the corners, all 3 of those guys will tackle. They can defend they play really good defense on all phases. So I like the Patriots in the way, win or lose. I like what they're doing. But to your point, if they go down and beat Tampa coming off a bye week, regardless of who's playing for Tampa, that's a signature win, like it was when they went to Buffalo 5 weeks ago and won in Buffalo.
Yeah, real quick, Christian Gonzalez practicing in full after that concussion, so things look good for him. Okay. Go ahead, Mark.
That's good. I think the Patriots are growing up very quickly, and I would just ask you, because it seemed like a very secure and safe move to hire Mike Vrabel, but I would imagine you two would have a few beers together and probably share some thoughts. But what makes Mike Vrabel special?
I think 2 things. One, I think he relates to the players exceptionally well. All players, all backgrounds, whatever. I think he knows, for example, he benched Christian Barmore a couple weeks ago for the first quarter because he broke a rule. It was just that clear cut. Here's the rule. You weren't here on time, whatever it was. You're not playing the first quarter. That's their best defensive tackle. So there's probably a few rules, but this is how we're all going to play. We're all going to play by the same. I think he does a great job game day in real time of fixing issues. If a player does some knucklehead thing on the field, he's going to address it right there. That player's not coming off the field without Mike being in his face, if he has to, or giving him the glare or whatever. I think he's that. And then, look, he's got Doug Marrone as offensive line coach, been a head coach, been an offensive line coach. He knows how to handle that group. He's got Josh handling the offense. I mean, I think he's got good lieutenants that, know how to game plan, know how to address situations during a game, be able to fix things on the fly. So I think the staff is really good. But I think Mike's ability just to not just motivate, but really connect with players to get the best out of them is, and then his relationship with Elliott and the guys and the type of guys they brought in, like anybody that meets Will Campbell, you're like, he could be my left tackle. He could marry my daughter. He could be my left tackle. He could be my captain. Like, I'm all in on Will Campbell.
Great pick. Let's go out like this, Baldy, since Mark mentioned it, because I could see Vrabel and Baldy, having a nice night out at the bar, having a good time.
We've done that on the Jersey Shore years and years ago.
There you go. So let's see the perfect Baldy poker table. It's poker night at Baldy's place, okay? And Vrabel's there, and I'm just going to throw some names out there. I'm going to put Lawrence Taylor there, LT. I'm going to put Jeff George at the table just to kind of spice things up, maybe get things, in a weird place.
Oh, I'm taking all of Jeff's money. I'm taking all of the money.
Add one more person to the poker table, Baldy.
And, I'll take, if we're just talking modern day, I'll just take Max Crosby.
Put Crosby at the table.
Love it.
Yeah, put Max there.
I love it. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Baldy.
You got it, guys.
We got to televise that.
Enjoy it.
You too.
Thank you.
That was Odyssey NFL insider Brian Baldinger, host of the Best Football Show podcast. Insider calls are brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side. There he goes, Brian Baldinger, every week. Such a stud for us. Also a stud, Conor Orr, back from his sandwich break. How you doing, Conor? I know things got heated about the quad box violation.
It's one of those things that I'm going to say is better now. And then like 3 weeks from now, when Justin says something, I'm just going to flip out in a major way. So,
it's also funny because it's on Mark and I's radar. We want relations to be strong between the show and your wife. And I imagine you're like angrily making the sandwich on the kitchen island. And you're like, hey, you're not going to believe it. I got a quad box violation, honey. And she's like, I fucking hate this show.
Right.
Whatever's happening with this show, you need to stop doing it.
Will you please just take out the garbage? Yeah.
On what level is it necessary that you're part of this production?
All right, to the other ones. And if you're upset that you're in this bucket as a fan, it's not our fault. It's yours. Well, not yours either. It's the team that you support. Let's start with the number 1 in the power rankings, Buffalo Bills, traveling to Miami to face the number 27 Dolphins. The Dolphins in total disarray, as we know, put 90 seconds on the clock here. Sestog, they just fired the GM. Mike McDaniel is one of the biggest dead man walking guys I could remember, because it's so obvious that he's just here to move he's basically sitting on death row, right? And he just has to eat his meals and do his 60 minutes in the yard for his exercise. But we all know where this is headed and what room he's headed to. And that's a tough place to be for McDaniel and all Dolphins on that roster right now.
Well, right, in the locker room. And one of the reasons that he's here in this place at this time is that the Bills have owned the Dolphins in the most critical spots over his tenure. And, the only space here for Miami is that Joey Bosa is banged up for the Bills, Ed Oliver out, Michael Hoyt banged up, AJ Epenesa's banged up. It's a pretty beaten up defense, but I don't know if that means anything, because the Dolphins from a week ago, that was the game where I thought they played pretty hard for the coach. They completely folded the tent and gave up last week, and it was a depressing defeat.
Everybody I talked to in this situation confirms exactly what you said, Dan. I mean, they want Mike McDaniel to finish the season because they want to give a new GM a chance to clear the deck and to do everything and to leave it as uncomplicated and unmessy as possible. So I think this is just going to be a playing out the string.
That's tough. And if you want to try to build some intrigue in this, is this a trap game for the Bills? They just came off that emotional win over the Chiefs. They got a big home matchup against the Bucs next week at Miami. Maybe a potential sleepy Bills team, but probably not. All right, moving on. It was relegated on a violation. Number 29, Cleveland Browns, 2-6. at number 30, New York Jets, 1-7. Let's give the first word here to David Njoku. You know, I love that Njoku, Mark. I've been saying that for a long time.
You are
obviously, yeah, obviously the Browns do too. They made him a high draft pick. They didn't trade him at the deadline, and he was very outspoken about being happy about that.
I'm in Cleveland, baby. I'm not going nowhere. I ain't leaving. I'm not leaving ever.
You don't want to.
Jesus Christ, no. I hope so. Yeah.
Do you know if extension talks started at all or not?
I can't say.
David, why are you so passionate about Cleveland being here?
You don't see this right here? This is 85 with a Nigerian flag, but it's also the state of Ohio.
Oh my God!
Yeah, you didn't see that, huh? It's nice, isn't it?
He has a
I'm
financial.
so happy.
Okay.
Man. I don't know how to put it. I'm so happy. For real, I'm serious. I found out this you found out at 4 p.m. yesterday. Okay. I'm here. Okay. I ain't leaving.
Okay, we got it. Now, he might be buried underneath the uprights in Cleveland, but having Dylan Gabriel throwing you spirals is going to be tough for the next 8 weeks, if that's what it is, Connor.
We need to talk about the fact that Paul DePodesta is leaving. Not going to be there anymore. He's going to take a job with Paul DePodesta. There, remember they hired him from baseball. That was like a giant thing, and then he had a plan that was so good that they needed to trade everything for Deshaun Watson at the end to save it. But he's going back to baseball, the Colorado Rockies. So.
Oh man, and the Rockies are the worst run team in baseball. They need a grown up in the room. So close the book on that chapter.
Well, and the Browns are one of the worst run teams in professional football. So it feels like a parallel move to me.
Sounds like a great hire by the Rockies. But no, he did have success in baseball, and now he's going back from whence he came. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Is that it? We only have 2 games in the other ones?
Yes.
Okay.
We've done it.
13
Time for the blind
games
locks.
Previewed, baby.
Nice, baby. All right, let's first check in with the standings on the blind locks, where we're at. I'm slumping personally. Yeah, I'm on a losing streak. I can't get off it, baby. Connor comfortably ahead. We have to start gunning for Orr, Mark, at this point. He's 6-3. Zuzzer and Sestog, both 4-5. Graver bringing up the rear at 3-6. This feels like an important week to chip away here. But Connor, you are in first place, so you're going to get the first choice here.
This is just like in the Patreon draft, where I started having some degree of success, and then all of a sudden, all the election requirements were changed, and the signature requirements are changed, and
quit gerrymandering.
Yeah,
there was no end to your agitation over any issue that we could list. So.
Go ahead. What do you got?
Okay. So what
guy's 6-3.
Okay. Yeah,
when we had a challenge, we had a picks challenge. He was the only one that got it.
Yeah, and
he's complaining still. We need to take this guy down, or he's got to go, Sassy.
Like JJ McCarthy, I have to channel this competitiveness, or else I fall flat. What cockamamie rules are involved in this week? Or are we just
all right? 9. What do you got?
No, is there like something where it's like, oh, now it's triple?
Have I said there's something? I haven't.
Know.
But you know what? Now you've inspired me. Next week there will be a chaos theory thrown in. Rule change. You've inspired me.
Oy vey.
Get ready. Change. Buckle up your butt, because something big's coming week 11. Give me 7 days to cook that up. Heads are going to be spinning. Balls on the floor.
I'm taking the Ravens.
Taking the Ravens. Okay, remember, these are blind locks. If it's 5 or above, it doubles.
It's going to be close.
Mark?
Man, I'm struggling with the spreads here. Okay, I'm going Browns over Jets. I'm assuming the Jets aren't favored by 7+ points over the Browns.
No, I think you'll be safe. I'm going to go. I talked about my blind locks manifesto that I'm writing to get off the schneid here. And so the principles are never pick a team with a glaring weakness, like the Cowboys defense, for instance, which got me banged on Monday night. So I'm going to try to pick a good team, a better team, and sneak under that 5. Ooh, that's where it gets tricky. Like, are Are the Falcons in Germany getting more than 5 points against the Colts? That's a good question.
The Germany aspect creates a mystery.
You know what? I don't like that. You know, I'm excited for everyone to enjoy that game in Berlin or whatever. But let me go back to America here, where I feel safe, and I'll take the Rams on the road to get the Niners. I would guess that's going to be a spread. Maybe I'm going to say Rams 3.5. I think I'll be safe there, but we shall see. Justin.
Yes, I'm going to lock up the Philadelphia Eagles over the Green Bay Packers in one of the games of the week, because Green Bay has just been too sloppy, and yeah, maybe they'll bounce back and be fired up after losing last week, but I feel like this Eagles team is just going to be rolling.
Interesting, because a criticism that Green Bay's gotten is they're playing to the level of their opponents, but that also, the flip side of that is they have the skill and ability and coaching and all that to level up against a good opponent. That's a ballsy pick for Gravy in a 3 and a 6 spot.
I think so too.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, if you pick a game between two good teams, your chances of the line banging you over 5 points is pretty low, I think. So.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think you're going to be especially taking 2.5. Ooh, okay. Wait, where am I? 4.5 Rams. Oh, baby. I just made it under that. And if I would have went with Colts, it would have been 6.5, which would have been 13 for me. So I that was good. That worked out well for me. Let's go Rams. And the Jets are laying 1.5 to Cleveland. That makes sense.
Why did I pick the Browns? I'm trying to
cycle
you're
back
rooting
through
for
the Browns. I mean,
the Browns are laying the 1.5. Actually,
sometimes, Ceci, I feel like, because you don't want the Browns to win, right? Or do you? Like, we're in tank mode. We're in double tank mode, aren't we?
Right. So then I can't. Then I come out of Sunday with one vague victory, which is either they're in pole position for a top draft pick, or I won my lock. And when you root for these teams, you got to search.
It's kind of yeah. Okay, there you go. The week 10
Connor
lines.
Locked. Did you mention the Ravens are 4.5 point favorites over the Vikings? So Connor barely snuck in as well.
Classic Connor.
That's the sweet spot. I really like. There's nothing better than the high of coming right in under that 5. It's the best.
Connor spent like an hour on DraftKings before the show.
Connor, everything's coming up Orr in this part of the show, and yet you just have this angry edge to you still. Everything's coming up. Maybe that's why everything's coming up Orr. You have this killer instinct that Mark, Justin, and myself need to get up to that level. We got to get angry too.
Correct.
I think that's it. I think if I slip up just one little bit, all of a sudden I got Graver not only telling me what to do in the quad box, but getting close to me in the standings here.
Yeah. GC. All right. Remember, all the games we just previewed will be recapped on Sunday night. And if you want to know the breakdown of who's watching what, head over to the Patreon, and you not only will find out the draft of these games, you might even get some bars from Justin Graver, a.k.a. Legend. Lost it for a second. Got it back. Do you have a verse set up for this episode this week, too? Are you writing one every week? We didn't talk about this.
No, I haven't been.
Okay. Do we want Legend to run back his verses?
I think it's like when you discover one of your favorite songs or performances, you got to give it a second play.
Sign up for Patreon. Go over to the draft released Friday mornings, and you'll hear Justin leading off with his hit rap song. What's it called?
Pick your pick, I guess. That seems good, right?
Yeah. Still workshopping the name.
Hadn't thought about the name.
All right. Until Sunday night, do what you must. Heed the call.